world's rivers are defined as the longest natural streams whose water flows within a channel, or streambed, with defined banks. They possess extensive river systems, which include tributaries to the main river channel. Welcome to the mesmerizing journey along the banks of the legendary river, River Nile, where history and beauty intertwine with grace.
We are following the course of the Nile, the longest river in the world. For 6,600 kilometers it snakes its way through. The Nile's long journey begins in the heart of Africa. It flows down from the mountains of Rwanda and Burundi to join Lake Victoria. The place where the Nile leaves Lake Victoria in Uganda is known as the source of the Nile. This very special place is said to possess a unique force. This is where the Nile plunges down the Bujagali Falls. The natives believe that these falls have a mighty power, the power to destroy, but also to nourish and to heal. The Nile proceeds from Lake Victoria through Uganda and onto Sudan. This is where the White Nile meets the much shorter Blue Nile, which flows north from the mountains of Ethiopia and over mighty waterfalls of its own. As the Nile crosses the border between Sudan and Egypt, its environment changes considerably. Now it's passing through the Sahara. The banks of the Nile are a unique and thriving habitat for wildlife right in the middle of the desert. The river flows through the desert for over 1,500 kilometers without being joined by even the tiniest tributary. The Nile is the lifeblood of these dry regions. Like many towns in the south of Egypt, Aswan lives primarily on tourism. The first ships started traversing the Nile here in the 19th century, bringing travelers from all over the world to gape at the treasures of ancient Egypt. The concept of the pleasure cruise was born. Since then, Egyptian captains have steered their ships up and down these waters between Aswan and Luxor, one of the most charming cruise routes in the world. The Nile has been venerated and feared for thousands of years, but the river has just kept rolling along throughout the history of humankind. On the last stage of its journey, it fans out just downstream of Cairo to form the Nile Delta, where it plunges into the Mediterranean Sea. The lifeline of Africa has reached its final destination.